Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today to go over an article from Outkick that is just, well, it's the New York Times being the New York Times. So, article is from May 12th, says the New York Times ignores Georgia result, claims Republicans are restricting voting rights, and anybody with half a brain will tell you right off the bat that is just not a true thing. So, article says the New York Times is fully committed to misleading the public on voter integrity legislation. And the 2020 election spawned a host of efforts to ensure the integrity of both the voting process and vote counts. Most famously, Georgia's election integrity law, which led to a surge in media and activists promoted misinformation. So thanks to committed partisans like Stacey Abrams blatantly misrepresenting the bill, Major League Baseball moved the All-Star game out of Atlanta, something they never apologized for, and it's the reason why I stopped watching baseball, is I just said, nope, that's I'm done. Like, this is a complete lie, and they fell for it. And now they're just like, nah, we're not going to say anything. So good job, MLB. You lost a fan probably forever because of that. So article goes on and says the new Georgia law, which did nothing to restrict legal voting whatsoever, which is correct, led to record voter turnout in ensuing elections, which is correct. Even that wasn't enough to change media narratives as they sided with Biden's ridiculous Jim Crow 2.0 criticism. Being proven wrong has never stopped the New York Times before, and based on a recent article, it's not stopping them now either. Like, I don't know why anybody pays attention to the New York Times anymore, even if you're on their side, because I'm not sure I remember the last time they reported something accurately that hasn't been beyond heavily skewed to the very far left. So let's just keep going here. It says, the Times posted an article that couched common sense integrity measures as significant restrictions on access to the ballot. Those restrictions include banning ballot drop boxes and shortening of early voting windows. Even worse, those new laws have been passed by Trump allies. Just the very mention of the word Trump is enough to single-handedly destroy democracy, of course. And the Trump allies, that Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, who I don't think him and Trump are like each other very much, so I'm not really sure that would be a Trump ally sort of thing. And also, these restrictions, you mean like making people go to a place to vote on election day, like election day, not election forever sort of thing? Like, oh God, no, please don't do that. So, it says New York Times denying reality as usual. That's about par for the course. It says the article makes its partisan purposes clear, saying Republicans have long said their goal is election integrity, but a spate of recent proposals suggests clear and sometimes strikingly specific political aims. It says, but when referring to Democrat-led voting bills, the tone suddenly shifts. I was just thinking that. It says, for their part, Democrats have moved in the other direction, pushing to expand ballot access through more mail voting, adding new forms of acceptable identification to vote, and expanding early voting. Okay, so that's the bad thing, in fact, but okay. It says, wonder why the two sides are framed so differently. So this is yet another attempt by the media to run interference for left-wing priorities. Yep. So after Georgia's results proved them wrong, the Associated Press desperately attempted to justify their partisan coverage, and the AP has been utterly compromised as well. Another organization that just don't pay attention to them. It says the Times is engaging in exactly this type of revisionist history, as they frequently do. It's obvious that common sense election integrity measures have no impact on the ability to vote, and it's obvious that the country just saw Georgia's record voter turnout. Right. Yeah, you can't sit there and say there's restrictions on people voting, and then when the results come back to say, hey, look, more people voted. And I think in the last election, they had people go to some voting places in Georgia, and they couldn't find a single person that said they had a difficult time voting. Like, there literally was not one person that had a problem. So I'd say your article doesn't hold any water when it's like nobody had a problem voting and, oh, more people voted. Like, the whole basis of your article is incorrect. So the whole rest of the article is going to be incorrect if you're starting off with the wrong premise. So, and the article goes on and says, but the Times purposely ignores this because it is inconvenient to their narrative. But that is never a truer statement, has been spoken. So it says this farcical charade continues. It says the media takes the liberal position on every issue, regardless of how untethered to reality it is. And as the preeminent left-wing voice, the Times is working overtime to tell their audience what they want to hear. It says Republicans bad, Democrats good every single time. That is correct. So Yeah, I mean, just go look this stuff up for yourself. You can very easily find out that more people voted in the 2020 election than did beforehand, even with the supposed voting restrictions in place. What the New York Times did here, this is just a lie. Their article that they wrote about it, it's just a total lie. So now you're gonna have people come out and be like, well, Georgia did this. I can't wait to see how many people you see, like pundits on the news, that are like, well, Georgia is restricting voting, and how much that's gonna get out there when it's like that has not happened. Okay, their voting got better. Okay, again, you can't say there's restrictions, but then the thing you're restricting actually improves. Okay, so figure out which narrative you want to go with. We know where the New York Times went, but it's like, guys, you're obviously denying reality. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. F the New York Times. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.